Hello crochet friends, welcome back to Crazy Cool Crochet. In this project we are working on the crochet striped pullover with 3/4 sleeves. This uses number 3 yarn, so it's fairly lightweight. I'm using I Love This Cotton, it's a number 3 in white, and Baby Bee Sweet Delight, also a number 3, and the color is called Toy Elephant Marled. I have no idea what that even means, but the color is a variegated, very subtle, very light shades of very light gray, light taupe. So the end result is a really pretty light colored, lightweight pullover, or crochet sweater, crochet top, whatever you want to call it. And before we get started, let me remind you once again, watch the video all the way through, please. That will be helpful to you. It will actually make a tremendous difference to my YouTube channel if you watch the video. Even if you're not going to make the project right now, if you would like to support my work, support my channel, support Crazy Cool Crochet, then I ask you to please watch the video for several minutes. I would so much appreciate your support. Thank you so much. Let's get started. Okay, we are going to work 2 identical panels for the front and the back, and then the sleeves will have also 2 identical panels, which we'll work in a little bit. Now we're going to start with a chain of 81 for size small. For different sizes and the multiplier, I will leave more instructions in the description area below. You will have to open that up. I've got a lot more detail in there. Also, this will eventually make its way, the pattern, the written pattern, to the blog, crazycoolcrochet.com. Now for this row only, we are going to be working in the back loop, or the 3rd loop of the chain. And this is so that we don't need to put a border on at the end. Start doing a single crochet in the 2nd chain from the hook. Do not count the chain on the hook. So in the 2nd, turn this over a little bit. Single crochet. If you turn the chain toward you, you'll see all the little bumps in the back. That's where we're entering the hook. So enter a single crochet in each chain for a total of 80 single crochets. When you get to the end of that first row, chain 1 and turn, and then we will do 1 more row of single crochets. So enter the first single crochet into that first space, or the first stitch, and then 1 in each. Stitch across. You're working under those 2 strand chains, or in the space between the single crochets, however you like to look at it. So work your way across for another 80 single crochets. Okay, now at the end of that 2nd row of single crochets, we are going to change the yarn color. And in this situation, the 2nd color is not much darker than the 1st color. So just keep in mind that we're only doing 2 rows of the white throughout the entire project. It's only 2 rows of white and single crochet, and then we go to the 2nd color. So to change color, you do your last single crochet in the last stitch, 2 loops on the hook. So do not complete the single crochet. We will complete the single crochet with the new color. And then we're going to chain 2 and turn. Okay, this is where it gets fun. So we are still working in single crochets. However, it's the combination of the stitches that make this project really fun and interesting. Okay, so you are going to enter a single crochet decrease. So to do that, you start your single crochet in that first stitch, Do not complete it. Start another single crochet in the next stitch. You've got 3 loops on the hook, pull the yarn through all 3, and then chain 1. And that is the pattern. And we do 6 rows of this pattern. So in the very next stitch, do another single crochet decrease. So you're working over the next 2 stitches. Pull the yarn through, chain 1. Okay, so again, start a single crochet in the next stitch. Start another single crochet in the next stitch. 3 loops on the hook, pull the yarn through all 3, chain 1. Do not forget that chain 1. If you forget a chain 1, the next row, the count will be off. So be real careful about that. So just continue all the way across the row. Now we're at the end of that first row of the single crochet decrease and chains. Does anybody know what that combination of stitches is called? I have no idea. If you know, please comment below. Let me know. Okay, now we're in our last 2 stitches remaining on that row. So we're going to go into that space as we have been. And then we're going to work into the chain for the last single crochet. And then complete that decrease and then chain 2. And we chain 2 and turn. Now this row and the remaining rows of these stitches is where it gets not tricky, but you just really have to pay attention where you are entering your hook. Okay, so we are going to do the first stitch in here, and then in the next space we do the next one, and then we complete it with that yarn through the 3 loops and then the chain 1. Okay, so if you get confused as to where to enter the hook, turn this over so you see where your 2 strand chains are. That indicates a stitch. Each chain is a stitch. Okay, so you're going to go into the very next stitch. There's the 2 strands. And then right next to it, there's the next chain. 3 loops on the hook, pull the yarn through, chain 1. Don't forget the chain 1s. Okay, that's it. So just keep going all the way across the row. All right, now to end that row, enter your hook into that first space, and then again into the chain, that starting chain on the end. And then complete your decrease, chain 2, and you will repeat that. You'll turn and repeat. So you will have a total of 6 rows of the variegated yarn. And then we'll go back to 2 rows of the single crochet, but I'll come back and work that with you. Now I want to give you a tip here. An easy way to count your stitches is to count each cluster of the single crochet decrease as 2. The cluster plus the chain is 2 stitches. So if you're counting just the clusters, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, all the way across, you'll have the count of 80. So go ahead, turn, and keep going. Okay, folks, it's time for me to ask for forgiveness. I am so sorry. We were supposed to have been carrying the white up, along the edge. So let me go ahead and do that now. And this is a classic reason why I ask you guys to watch the video all the way through. So we're going to go ahead and enter the hook, and now into the chain. There's that white yarn. So bring the hook under the white yarn, and then bring the current color through. Chain one, go under that white yarn again for the second chain. And you can see how that yarn now has been carried along the edge. Now you're going to turn and continue. So every time you come back to this edge, carry that yarn up along. Okay, just continue. Okay, we're at the end of the 6th row. And now it's time to bring back the white. And now we're going to carry up that other color. So go under that previous color, grab the white, pull it through, chain one, and then turn. Now we're going to do 2 rows of the single crochet as we did at the beginning. So start in the first space, regular single crochet, and then a single crochet in each space, and you will have a count of 80. At the end of the row, chain 1, turn, 1 more row of the single crochet, and then we will go back to the variegated color. So that will be your pattern for this entire panel. 2 rows single crochet, 6 rows of the second color. 2 rows single crochet, 6 rows of the second color. And this is what we are working toward. So we actually have 7 sets. If you count the 2 rows of the white, 6 rows of the variegated color, that's a set. So we've got 7. And we end with the gray color, and you will do 2 of these panels. And then we will work the remainder of the top part and the sleeve. This only will go up to the underarm, and then we will continue. Okay, this is what we are working towards. So there's that panel that we just made, and there's the remainder of the front. So this is going to be attached. Those will be the sleeves. And as you can see, the pattern continues. So we ended the first panel with the gray, and then we're starting the rest of the panel with the white. So the pattern will continue. Those will be attached, and then that's the neck. So we are making 2 of each of these panels. Then we'll seam up the sides, seam up the sleeves, shoulder, and that's it. So let me show you how we are making that second panel. So for this one, we do 3 sets of the 2 colors. Okay, so for the long panels, we are using a foundation chain of 161, 161. And starting in the second chain from the hook, single crochets all the way across. And this time we're entering in the front, not in the back. So just go ahead and continue your single crochets, chain 1, turn, another row of single crochet, and then chain 2, turn, and then continue with the variegated color. So again, the 3 sets, 1, 2, 3, and with the gray. Make 2 of these panels. Okay, now to put the 2 panels together, the long and the body, you want to place some stitch markers. So this one here is the center of each panel, and then count evenly stitches across on both panels. So in this case, this panel was 80 stitches long, and this panel was 160 stitches long. So on the long panel, I counted 40 stitches from the edge in, 40 stitches, the same on the other side, and then I marked right under here. So this is the underarms. Okay, so the corner here, and then a quarter of the panel, quarter, quarter, and a quarter of the panel. And then we're going to use a whip stitch to attach. This is the wrong side up, by the way. Okay, so what you do is take your yarn needle, length of yarn. The best way to determine how much yarn to cut off the skein is 3 times the length that you need. Okay, so it'll be 1, 2, 3 times the length. And then I always add a little bit extra just to be sure. And I started in the corner. So just attach the yarn or the needle in the cornermost stitch. And then in stitch number 40 for me over here. Because halfway would have been 80. So in order to get this correctly centered, I had to count 40 stitches in and then start there. I've already started, so let me show you. Okay, so you're just matching stitch for stitch on both panels. Okay, so go under 2 strands of each panel. And that's all you need to do until you get to the other underarm. Okay, then after you are done seaming the center, you can put the back panels and the front panels together. Of course, you're going to do the same seaming for the other 2 panels. Then you will put them all 4 together, and you want, again, wrong sides are facing up so that the right sides are touching. So when you've got your other 2 panels underneath here, the back panel, be right side and right side. So on this one, the right side will be facing up. Then find your center. For the neck, you determine how wide you want your neck opening. I'm using a 10-inch opening here. So I found the center and put a stitch marker there. And then I went out 5 inches on each side and put more stitch markers. So then you're going to stitch the shoulder from here all the way down the sleeve. There's your shoulder and the sleeve. Then you will seam the bottom of the sleeve and down the side. Same for the other side. And here is the completed crochet striped pullover with 3/4 sleeves. And as always, this looks so much nicer when you put it on. On the table, but trust me, this is just gorgeous. And there are a few little tips that I wanted to bring to your attention. So when you are seaming your edges, make sure you are lining up your rows on both panels so that your rows are matching up. I left 3 inches open at the bottom for a nice little slit, and that looks really cute, again, when it's on. When you are seaming the underarm sleeves, you'll have the white strips. So make sure you use the white yarn to seam so that it blends in. And then when you come down to the edges, because the gray taupe color is the dominant color, I switched to that color for seaming on the edges here. I am not adding any borders anywhere. Again, once you put this on, it looks absolutely gorgeous with no border necessary. I hope you've enjoyed this project. Thank you so much for staying with me to the end, and I appreciate your support. Again, a thumbs up down in the white space would be helpful. Comment, let me know what you think of this project, and of course, if you're not subscribed yet, please go ahead and do that too. Thank you so much. We'll see you on the next project.